I think I have evidence that proves that someone you know within the UFO community is spreading disinformation. What am I talking about? Let me explain. Hi, I'm Patrick. This is Vetted. Let's jump in, Vetters. All right. Where do I start? Okay. This is a lot, y'all. All right. About 2 weeks ago, I put out a video about a conversation with President Biden, right? That was revealed, this transcript, and, I'll put a link to it so you can find it, although I'm about to reference it here in just a moment, and we're going to go through it. And it was a tweet that was put out by this gentleman right here, Mike Disclosure. And he's a producer and investigative journalist for YouTube news channel Disclosure Tonight with Thomas Fessler, right? And as you can see, no face. If you go to the YouTube channel and watch any podcasts or videos they have, his face is never shown. That's important. So I make this video about a tweet that he puts out. And in that tweet, it says this right here, right? This is supposed to be from a source in the White House that he has, okay, that gave him word for word from the White House transcript, supposedly, right, a phone call that was had between Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden. And this is, again, supposed to be word for word from his source. So he puts out this tweet, and I make this video. Now, what's the conversation? Let's go through it. And in the video, if y'all remember watching this, we were all like, oh, this is BS, right? So it says, Schumer, hello, Mr. President Biden. Chuck, what the hell's going on down there with your amendment? Schumer, it's the usual suspects again. They're surgically removing key provisions to appease their main funding sources. Biden, Chuck, the reason I sent Jake Sullivan to help you write that amendment was so that this bullshit wouldn't be happening. Schumer, it looks like their interests outweigh yours at this point, Joe. Biden, Chuck, you know that I needed that amendment of yours to pass so that it would distract the media and the public from focusing on RFK Jr. running against me. His family is considered to be fucking American royalty. I didn't need to be running against another fucking Kennedy for my last term in office. Schumer, Joe, you could always declassify limited information that would indicate that we are aware of something in our skies, but we don't know what it is yet. Biden, that might open up a Pandora's box of shit that I don't want to deal with right now. Let the next asshole who gets elected to this job deal with it. Schumer, I understand, Mr. President. And again, he tweeted this out like this was a real conversation. He said it came from his source within the White House, and he put this out. I put that video, I put it on Twitter, I tag him. I'm not joking. Within minutes, that tweet is taken down because I, as always, on every video I make every day, okay, I always put source links, right, in the description. And anywhere I post it, you get the source links. Well, the link to the tweet. So everyone's like, hey, that tweet's dead. It's broken, right? It's like, no, the tweet got deleted, right? So I message him. Actually, he messages me first. That's true. I see that he follows me on Twitter and then messages me. And this is what he says. Hi, Patrick. You know what? Actually, hang on. Let me move this over so we can see the Twitter messages. Because this is going to be important, y'all. This is my evidence. He says, hi, Patrick. I just followed you here on X. Again, I'm making this all transparent, okay, y'all? Putting everything here. Hi, Patrick. I just followed you here on X. I wanted to thank you for covering on your channel some of the stories that I report here on X and on the YouTube news channel. Disclosure Tonight with Thomas Fessler. You can DM me here on X. So I had used his tweets before in other videos. I have referenced him. I've seen him on Twitter. He's someone that a lot of people look at and read his tweets and whatever, right? If you're on UFO Twitter, if you're just an everyday UFO enthusiast, you're not going to know anything about this, okay? But this speaks to a larger story. But if you were in UFO Twitter and you're part of that, you know who this guy is. You might even watch a show on YouTube you don't follow on Twitter, right? They have thousands of subscribers, right? They get views. People listen to them. And that's why I'm sharing this. okay? Because I debated whether or not to share this information. But as you're clearly about to see, I'm not even sure if Mike Disclosure is like a real person. Let me explain. Then I write, thanks for following, Mike. We don't follow anyone to keep neutrality, so don't take offense if we don't follow back because we don't follow anyone. LOL. That's true. On Twitter, we have followers, but we don't follow anybody. We have zero following. It says zero. So there's just no, hey, why aren't you following this guy, but you're following him and this and that, right? So we just don't deal with it. Anyway, I said, I appreciate your work on the topic. Quick question. Why did you take down your latest tweet? See, at this point, in my mind, that's real information that he put out. And we didn't know if it was true or not. Now, my BS meter went off. And if you watch that video, and everyone in the comments too, I don't think there was one person that believed it in the comments, right? Even like people that believe a lot of stuff, even they were like, I don't know about this. Because again, it was too perfect. The words that were used, right? The dialogue, right? Like it again, watch that video so you can see it in full, that conversation, right? Just said all the things that you wanted to say. So anyway, I write that to him, right? Why'd you take down your latest tweet? Now, this is his first reply to me about why he takes down the tweet. Because the replies that I was receiving were anti-Biden. I am politically neutral in my reporting, and I felt that the post was generating too much political partisanship. It wasn't intended to invoke such a political response and pushback, so I removed it to try and maintain political neutrality in my reporting. I admire the work that you do on your YouTube channel, Vetted. I wish you a lot of success with the channel. If you have any questions for me in the future, feel free to reach out anytime. I'm glad we had a chance to get acquainted with each other. Keep up the good work that you do, Patrick. So his first explanation for why he takes down the tweet is just that it's too political. Want to pull it down? People are getting too crazy in the comments. Okay. I got to be honest. It just didn't sit right with me. Right? There's something about that. So I write, interesting, thanks. So you believe the story from your source? Will we hear about that phone call again? Now this, mind you, he responded on December 11th, pretty much just a couple hours after I'd sent mine out, right? 3:06, he sends his 5:11, and mine's the next day in the morning, right? But then I don't hear back from him, right? And this was this past Wednesday, after Christmas here. I said, hey, Mike, never heard back from you. You said to reach out if I ever had a question. What is your official position on the Biden phone call story? Making a video about it, so wondering if you want to comment. So I'm making clear that I'm looking for a comment from you, right? For a video I'm going to make on this. And this is his response, y'all. I'm telling you, I don't know about you, but when I read this, every red light and BS went off, and I'll be honest, it's disturbing. Let's jump in. Hi, Patrick. Sorry about the delay. I have been very busy during the holidays. I do believe my sources, which is why I posted the story. But recently, my sources have requested that I do not post that story again at a later date. I was informed that since the current administration is entering into an election cycle this year, my story might create an unnecessary controversy that they would want to avoid. And if I were to move forward again with that story, I would no longer have access to information from my sources in the future. So at the request, I will not readdress that story in the future. Excuse me. Needless to say, this is private information about my sources between you and me. I do not want this information shared with the public. I am sharing it with you confidentially as a professional courtesy. Thank you for understanding, Patrick. Now, some of you might be jumping already to, hey, dude, he just said, I don't want this shared public. I'm sharing this with you privately, right? Thank you for understanding. But remember what I asked him. I asked him for a comment on a video I'm making. Right? We're not friends. I don't know this guy. I can't even see his face. I've never spoken with him on the phone. I've had 3 Twitter messages with him. And think about this. This is why I struggled with putting this out. Because I got this message that same day and I've been holding on to this information. Is that, one, he's trying to manipulate me. This is a tactic used to manipulate people, right? Telling me something that now I need to keep private between us. But I didn't ask you for anything private. I asked you for a comment, right? And this is what you sent me. You didn't say off the record, right? And you've changed your story. Now it's that your source told you to pull this down because we're entering into an election cycle and he thinks his story might create an unnecessary controversy that they want to avoid. No offense to Mike Disclosure, but he's small potatoes, just like me. We're small potatoes. What kind of controversy does his source think that his story on his Twitter is going to do, right? On his YouTube channel. It's not that big, y'all. It's like 7,000 subscribers, okay? I mean, it is in the thousands, but let's be real. This isn't millions. This isn't getting out on, blowing up. So when you read this, let's be real. What do you think? I think he's being fed misinformation. Here's what I think. One of 2 things. He's making it up. He's just flat out making up information and passing it off as I got it from a source. Because why? You have no way to verify it. And he puts things out, sees what happens, and can delete later. If people in the comments start going nuts, like, oh, this is BS. Okay, I better get rid of this. Right? But he tried to manipulate me with this comment because I want y'all to see this stuff. Again, I always say on this channel, I don't want anything private. Don't share private stuff with me. I will share it. I've said that on this channel multiple times. I don't want confidential information, anonymous information, because this is how disinformation goes out, right? I don't think this guy has a source. And if he does have a source, then that source is just playing with him, which means there's someone in the government that is using him as a psyop, which would be proof of, right, an ongoing effort to provide disinformation to the UFO community, AKA, or not AKA, a la Richard Doty, right? Like Richard Doty, right? In that same sense. Or again, he's making it up. Both are disturbing. But there is no way in hell that what he's saying is the truth. Again, this message reads just as much BS as the Schumer-Biden phone call. Right? First, he says he pulls it down because of political stuff. Right? And then he changes his story and says this. Now, you might say, well, Patrick, he changed his story because, now he trusts you. Now he trusts me. He has never spoken to me. He had one message with me. All of a sudden, he now wants to tell me the truth, but before he lied to me. So was that a lie? Because he didn't think he could trust me with the sources right off the bat? And I'll get into that. I'll speak about the elephant in the room about the sources. I don't know if you caught that yet. Right? Or what? Like, right? What's the lie? This, that, what is it? Look, he throws his source under the bus with me. He doesn't know me at all, and he's going to tell me confidential information about his source? If his source were to know about this, but I don't think he has a source, so I think he's going to be fine if this video gets out. I don't think his source is going to stop giving him information because there is no source. That's my hunch. That's my gut. Okay? I can't prove that, but what to me this smells like is disinformation, one way or the other. Either coming from him alone, which I don't know what reason you have, again, to just be part of the movement. But guess who's a guest on Disclosure Tonight? A lot. Guess who's a guest on there a lot? Just take a guess. Richard Doty. And he said he stopped giving out disinformation. You see, I think this message was sent to me as a test to see if I would keep my mouth shut. Why do you think he followed me? Again, I don't even know if this guy's real. I don't know if Thomas Fessler is this guy, but I've heard him speak. I don't know if his name, I don't know who he is. I don't know if if it's someone else is playing him, right? You only hear his voice. Now, when you hear him, he does have a New York accent. Okay, I lived up in Pennsylvania for a long time. Used to go to New York a lot. Philly, DC, Atlantic City, you know, that whole area. My first wife was from Queens. I'm just saying. So he does have a New York accent. I do hear New York. But I don't know who this guy is. Right? Again, not putting a face, like, put your face, dude. You need to answer for this. Why are you, one, throwing your sources under the bus? If that's true, you don't know me, and you're just going to trust me with that information about the source, it immediately leads me to believe it's not real. You wouldn't do that if it was a real source. You wouldn't. If he genuinely had a real source in the White House, you think he's just going to he's just telling random people on Twitter? You think I'm the only one he's done this to? No. But a lot of people in this community that nobody does what I do, in the sense that nobody puts out daily videos about UFOs like I do. I'm the only one in the community. That's it. That's me. I'm not saying I do it great. I'm just saying I'm the only one that does it. Everyone has a podcast that interviews people, right? Or does shows, or maybe does 2-3 videos a week or something. But no one does what I do, right? But I know that they're reaching out. They have reached out to other people, these guys. So who else have they manipulated with this information? I'm telling y'all, something's fishy, something's up. What I'm hoping is that my fellow vetters that are watching this, let's get on this. Look at this. You've got the other video. You can see the full tweet from that guy. What's up with Disclosure Tonight? Tell me, what's going on with that show? What do you know about it? What do you know about this guy, Mike Disclosure? What do you think about these messages? Did I cross the line revealing this? I did struggle with putting this out, and I think that's what he wanted, me to struggle with that. But at the end of the day, I thought, you know what? This is going to help more people. And if it hurts me, I don't really care. If it hurts my reputation, I don't really care. Because again, I'm not trying to be friends with any of these people. I got friends. I don't need friends. I don't need access. I can keep making videos on everything that gets put out publicly. Right? Because I'm trying to keep the integrity here, y'all. And you may think, well, that's not very, you're not keeping integrity by revealing those messages. Well, when somebody's trying to manipulate me, I'm no longer beholden to that, right? And this is important to get out because, again, I think it's proof of disinformation, y'all, in this community. And if it's happening here, it's happening in other places. I guarantee, again, either he has a source within the government that is lying to him and feeding him disinformation, or sometimes real information, sometimes disinformation. Regardless, I call that disinformation as a whole, if you can't trust it all. Or he made it all up, right? Or he has a source that's faking it to him, which I seriously doubt. Is this guy he can't be that dumb. This guy, Mike Disclosure, there's no way somebody is that gullible. So he has to be in on it. And is the goal, you just want to be a part of it and it's an innocent deception? Or is that, and ironically, it's called Disclosure Tonight, or is that show, does Fessler know about it? Is he involved? Is it just Mike Disclosure? What's going on? I mean, he's a producer on the show. He reveals information. Are they using the same sources? And if this is a real source, is that source also feeding other people information? Because let's be real. You got a guy in the White House, and you're telling me the only guy he's feeding information to is no-name Mike Disclosure from Disclosure Tonight? That doesn't make sense. If you have that kind of access and can get those kind of secrets, you're not giving it to this guy. No offense to that guy, just like you wouldn't give it to me. Because we are small potatoes. We're still on the ground potatoes. We're not even potatoes yet. Like, I'm just saying, it doesn't add up, y'all. And this worries me. This scares me. You know, I just made that list, top 11 reasons why we don't have disclosure. When I made that, this was on my mind. If you remember, and if you go back to that video and watch, listen to me talk about anonymous sources and all that. That's what's playing through my mind when I'm talking about that, because I'm talking about this guy right here. Right? He's literally an anonymous source to your face. Right? And he's got the, what's that guy's name? Mask from, I can't remember that movie. Guy Farrow or what's that guy's name? Guy, whatever, with the mask. Anyway. Right? Man, this guy right here. This mask. Guy Fawkes. That's what it is. Right? I'm just saying, I don't know, y'all. I need help. I need vetters on it. I think, me personally, I know where I stand. I will not be using this guy. You'll never see this guy on or that show or anything they promote, or if I can trace anything back to that guy, I am not using him as a source for information unvetted. It's just not happening anymore. I cannot trust that guy. And again, now I'm going to be real wary of other people as well and got to really pay attention. But just the messages the guy was sending me, they just don't make sense. They're not like real messages. They're like bots messages or something. It's like never responding to what I said in my message and buttering me up. Love your channel, love your show, love your stuff. Like, I'm not stupid, dude. I've been around the block. Okay? Like, I worked in restaurants a long time, y'all. Okay? I can see BS a mile away. It's just how it is. It just doesn't add up. And y'all need to know. We need to know about this kind of stuff. And any pushback that comes from this, bring it. Because again, I don't think Mike actually has a real source. There's just no way. Again, what you would never reveal. If that's true and he just revealed that to me, that guy shouldn't have sources anyway. If he's just going to give away like that, that's why I don't have sources. Again, you can't try. Again, I personally, just my opinion, I think he made it up. I don't think he has a source. I think he just makes up information. And I'm not saying Richard Doty gives it to him, but there's something there. That's interesting. As Richard Doty isn't on every podcast. A lot of people don't like talking with that guy. There's something about him, right? Something about that guy doesn't add up. So I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments. This was a long video. Share this video. Let's get it out. We need to know who we're working with. What's going on? Who can we trust? That's just the truth. So help me out in the comments. I'll read them. Just tell me what you think. Did I fuck up? Is this all innocent? You know, and this guy's a genuine guy and I just totally whatever. If that's the case, I'll apologize, but there ain't no way in hell, man. I would bet everything I own that there's something fishy about this guy. There is. It just doesn't make sense. So anyway, thank y'all. Vetters, can't wait to read the comments. Please hit that like button. That really helps us out a lot if you haven't already. And of course, if you're new to the channel, it's your first video you're watching with me, hit that subscribe button, y'all. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I put out a new video every single day. I haven't missed a day since we started doing that just a few months ago. 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, USA. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Remember, every day's a gift. Peace, y'all.